think it's frostbite.
Hi guys, today I'm just gonna simply take you through my 2022 bullet journal setup that you can kind of see a glimpse of right there. Okay, so my name is Rachel. If you haven't been here before, or if you don't remember because it has been quite a while since I posted a video, since the beginning of the fall actually, I think. And so I'm a little rusty. But bear with me. I started off with a little bit of journaling here that I think I actually cut out for time because this video ended up being like 25 minutes long anyway. But basically, I talked about I feel like I've been kind of speed running the, growing up process that I kind of, I guess, didn't do when I was an adolescent for, a lot of reasons. So I felt like, up until now, I felt like I've been really behind other people my age in terms of at least, just kind of personal development and stuff. So I feel like the past year has been like a huge learning curve for me, which is part of why I haven't been posting as much. You'll see here I'm going through my things because I also fell off of journaling for a while, which is fine. It's whatever, it happens. Yeah, and you can see I've got my coffee and I've got my new candle holder and I've got these bourbon balls that my great aunt Marion sent for Christmas that are like delicious but super potent. So you can only really have a couple of them at a time if you don't want to get a little bit tipsy. What else? I went back to my library card notepad to stick in there for like my cover page. You'll notice that I didn't migrate into a new journal this year, partially because I only started this one in like August, and partially because I just couldn't be bothered. I have come to realize that like setting up a lot of monthly spreads and yearly spreads like doesn't work very well for me because I don't go back to them, which I think is not, I'm not alone in that. So part of my like system that I've been using that's been working for me really well is a wall calendar, which I didn't think I was a wall calendar kind of person, but it turns out that I am. It's really nice to have it. I have it sitting up in the window in front of my desk, just in the corner. And it's really nice because whenever I think of something, I can just jot it down, even if it's months ahead. And it's already pretty, so I don't have to make it pretty. I don't have to set anything up. And that is where I usually run into trouble with organization spreads because oh, that's a little tag one of my students gave me. Because I just am like, well, I'll write it down when I set up the sheet, and then I don't set up the sheet, and the event gets lost, and then it's a mess. So, wall calendar it is for yearly spread and for scheduling stuff. I do a monthly log still. For me, I don't even write in it every day, but it's kind of nice for me because now I'm substitute teaching full-time as a building sub. I like it because I can see how much time I've spent with different classes or subbing in for different teachers, which I don't know, I'm weird like that. I like to like look back on it and be like, well, I was in this classroom for 3 days this month, and whatever. Anyways, okay, so I set up this spread with a lot of stuff. I kind of was going through my stuff again because, like I said, I haven't been using it that much. Although I have been carrying around my like orange bullet journal cover that you'll recognize if you've been here for a while. I was off of it for a while, but now I'm back on it. It's kind of fun to carry like a ton of stickers around. And yes, it is heavy, but also it keeps me motivated, and it means that I don't have to like fill in all the space for everything I write all by myself. I can, retroactively add stickers and decorations, which I enjoy. What else? Oh yeah, so my job. I talked about, how now I'm a building sub, and I'm kind of, I'm debating whether to put this video out or not. I made another kind of vlog style video in the fall, and I know that it's not like current anymore because I was in a completely different job and struggling with different things, and like it's not up to date on what my life is like anymore. But also I do like the kind of video journal aspect of making these YouTube videos, and I'd like to, put that footage up online. Oh, Cora's sitting on my bed behind me, like looking around. It's okay. Oh, good girl. And so I'd like to have that record on there, and also my iCloud storage is full, so I need to delete that footage or upload it, either one. So maybe I'll just upload that, and if you don't watch it, you don't watch it. I'm not like relying on my YouTube stats like I used to, so it's probably fine. Yeah. Okay, so I decided to use this big like 4x6 photo as kind of a physical, just because I had it lying around my desk, just as kind of like a physical marker of, where the New Year pages start, because those big photos are so stiff. It feels almost like a divider, like it makes your notebook fall differently. And I thought that it would be nice to be able to tell by touch where 2021 starts. And by 2021, I mean 2022. Yeah. So on my little library card, I wrote just kind of the thing that I found, over the course of this year was, let's see, finding joy is just going over and checking out the stuff that seems cool, which has been kind of a major theme in my life since, graduating from college and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Since all that happened and since I moved home, I feel like I'm doing a lot better. Like I feel more like myself. Living up in St. Cloud, in this house where I felt like I had to isolate a lot because I didn't trust the COVID safety choices some of my roommates were making. I felt like I was just kind of crammed into this tiny little box where the only place I could be safe was my bedroom. And since coming home and being with my family, I've felt like a ton better, and I felt like I have more curiosity, more energy, more will to like explore and, interact with the people that are important to me. So yeah, living with my family has been fantastic. It's super nice to have that, support from the people that I feel closest to. And I've decided that I do want to live here at home until I either decide to go abroad and do like a teach abroad experience, or until I decide to, settle down and find a full-time job, because I wouldn't want to move out and then decide I'm going to leave the country and then have to move out of that place, So I have been thinking about doing a teach abroad experience in France, teaching English to native French speakers, which I think would be a really good fit for me. The other program I was looking at of teaching in Japan sounded really good, but at the same time, it was so long term, and I didn't want to be away from my puppy for that long, and I don't know, like it just felt like too long. So the Teach Abroad program in France, TAPIF, is shorter term than that, and that sounds like a better bet right now. And also, I'm obviously much more fluent in French than Japanese, as French was my minor, and I, don't speak very much Japanese at all. It just seems like more of the right path. So I'm trying to decide if that's what I want to do right now. I think I'm just going to do the application and see where it takes me. So, yeah. So I don't know. Part of the downside of it is that they pay you like nothing, basically, like not even enough to cover your expenses. So you'd have to like either get a second job while you're there or like live off of savings. And that feels like a step back to me because I was lucky enough to find a teaching job that pays really, really well, like straight out of college. And so I'd be like reluctant to give that opportunity up in favor of one that like doesn't pay anything. But at the same time, you'd be in France. I just feel like I don't like having to like live off of savings versus like earning enough money to cover my living expenses. Essentially, it just doesn't feel so good. But at the same time, opportunity and living abroad, and I'm, young and single, and if I want to, now is a really good time to do it. Anyways, that's where my head is with that. Right now, I'm working as a building sub in a school district a little ways away from me, but not too far of a drive in the morning. And that's been a super, super nice balance. Like, I just feel so lucky to be able to, make good money teaching and not as a full-time classroom teacher with all that responsibility. After kind of my student teaching experience and, some of the messages that I got from the education program at my college, I was super reluctant to go into full-time teaching because a lot of the mindset around that is that you don't really get to have boundaries around work, and that is a super uncomfortable situation for me because, I was there with school and it took me a long time to like heal from that and get better and realize that I do get to set boundaries and it doesn't make me a bitch. Like, I don't know. Can tell that my pen here is going kind of dry because I haven't used them in a while. I've been bullet journaling for a long time. And so it took me, this is a good balance of being able to have boundaries around work-life balance and not feeling like I'm letting my students down by, not being as responsible for them. Like, personally, like, I feel like I don't quite have to be that person they rely on for everything. And there may come a time when I do feel okay with that, but right now, that scares me because I have a hard time protecting myself and like my own mental and physical health once I get into a situation where I care a lot about those kids. I'm very likely to like totally run myself ragged and not know when to say no or when to take a break or when to whatever. So I feel like I'm not quite strong enough for that yet. So subbing has been great. I used to sub at an agency, but honestly, subbing in a single building has been a lot better because I have job security. Like, I know every day I'll have somewhere to go, and I won't have to travel to a different school every day and like figure out how long it'll take me to get there and like make a phone call at 6 a.m. to figure out where I'm gonna go. Um, and, you know, floating around between classrooms, I feel like, you know, kind of the cool, fun aunt that the kids are excited to see, but also I don't have to write lesson plans all night, every night. um, because I do like to leave work at work when I go home. So yeah, if there's any other teachers out there listening to this, I would be curious to know like how you handle it. Um, it I love like being involved in education and advocating for students and you know teaching kids about the world. Um, but I also like the huge responsibility of it is daunting to me, and I'm curious to know like how people manage that. Um, because my education program didn't teach us anything about that, which I'm still a little salty about. Oh, Cora. Okay, she went to sit on the floor. Um, wow, I'm super rambly. I used to be better at like targeting what I'm talking about. Or did I? You know what? Actually, I don't think I did. Um, yeah. And so it's a funny story. I got my new job, the one that I'm working at now, because one of my neighbors knew I was doing a sub agency. And her school, that she's like one of the administrative staff at, works with, like, not works with, sorry, has not enough people to work. Is understaffed basically, and they needed more subs. And she was like, "Well, I know that you're a teacher." And she came and knocked on her front door. She walked over and knocked on her front door and was like, "Would Rachel like to work at our school?" And I was like, maybe. I wasn't sure at first because it was kind of far away. It was definitely a hike of a commute. Um, but it turned out that the school that I was going to work at was on the closer edge of the school district, which meant that it wasn't nearly as far as I thought it was going to be. And then they offered me like a lot better money than I was making. And I was like, if I do this, I can save up for when I do want to move out or if I do want to go abroad. And you know all the benefits of like job security and knowing the students and getting to develop those relationships have been really really fun. um, yeah, it's been really good. Like I one of my students came to me with like a broken button on like a cosplay cape that they had, and they were like, "You knew how to fix my necklace, Miss Youngman. Do you think you know how to fix this too?" And I was like, looked at it and I was like, well, I can't just stick it back on. But they're taking a test and I do have a needle and thread, so I got to fix the button for them. And it's fun to be able to build those relationships and know things about my students and have them know things about me. And get to, you know, meet all the teachers there. Um, and you know feel like I can really make a little bit more of a lasting difference in my work, which is great. You'll see that I'm writing this ongoing section here, um, which is like projects that I'm working on. One of them is my application for teaching abroad. One of them is my white 1890s sweater that I'm knitting. One of them is this really cool blue pinafore dress that I've been hand sewing since this fall, that I'm hoping to be done with soon. And one of them is a knitting project based on a book I've checked out of my local library that had a really cool knitting pattern in it I wanted to try, but it's been taking forever, and the book has been renewed 3 times already, and I don't think they're going to let me do it again, so I really need to get on with it. And the other one is a green sweater, which is something kind of fun that I've just been working on the go a little bit. And it's almost done. And let's see, you'll see that I've just been keeping my journal like super simple unless I'm in the mood to embellish, which this time I wasn't, because these monthly videos, if you like do a lot of steps to your spread, are just a nightmare to edit because you sit there and think and you have to cut out those seconds while you're not moving. And so I found that for these ones, it's better to keep it simple. I don't know how frequently I'll be doing these kind of videos in the future. I'd like to do monthly plan with me's, but sometimes I just am working on like my setup when I'm like organizing before school in the morning, and it's not easy to film always. And I've also been thinking about doing maybe some sewing or knitting videos, some videos about clothing, because like I said in my last video, I've become kind of obsessed with making my own wardrobe, and the sustainability impacts of that, and also just, being able to invest in like my day-to-day by investing in the clothes that I wear in my day-to-day life, basically. I've got a lot of ideas, and I feel like I've developed my skills enough that I could make a video about a project start to finish, because I feel like now I have a better sense of like what kind of timing is entailed in that. I don't know. If you're interested, let me know. I don't want to switch gears completely because I know a lot of you are here for the bullet journaling, which I could totally understand and respect. But I found that it is less of the like absolute creative space for me than it used to be, just because I don't have very much time to spend on it anymore, and just because I've been more drawn to like fiber arts type crafts lately. Writing down words is great for your brain, but for me, there's something so comforting about holding a needle and thread, or about, knitting, knitting new loops of a project. It just feels so tangible and so meaningful, and like totally grounds me in the real world in a way that bullet journaling doesn't always do. I don't know. Just some rambling thoughts on the nature of creativity as you grow up and the world changes, I guess. Yeah, so I'm curious about how you guys are doing. I know it's been kind of a while. I really miss that aspect of making videos. I miss being able to talk to you guys. So I hope that this, New Year's video was kind of a nice surprise. For those of you who are still interested in watching hashtag Hello Rachel the First content. And I hope that you might be down for some other stuff too if I want to do that, because I love watching YouTube videos on, sewing and knitting and clothing making. And so I thought maybe you guys would be interested in that too. Maybe a little bit of everything in here. Yeah, that is just about all that I've got for you today. I hope you're warm. I hope you're safe. I hope you're wearing your masks. I hope that life is as good as can be expected in the circumstances. And I hope that you found some peace in the dead of winter. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.